We have my sis Ebony K. Williams, who was on my my talk show True Talks. Shout out to my girl Ebony K. She made a choice to have a child as a single woman by herself. She's a very happy mama bear. That is a choice with an intention. You're talking about two different things. When you said I was not born or not raised in a two-parent household, but I grew up to make a different decision. Well, what probed you to make a different decision is you seen that that was a decision you didn't want. So therefore, if it was something you admired, you would have recreated the wheel, baby. But you didn't, because you said, I don't want this decision. Because somewhere in your mind, you've seen that as not being a good decision. We do good things. You didn't say I want to do the opposite because I just want to be a bad woman. I want to be a rebel. You went and created.
I believe women that want to have children alone without a father helping, I think it's selfish. I think that's selfish of women. I don't care what nobody say. Oh, you know, happy mama bear without a man helping her. That is selfish. That child is eventually going to grow up wondering, who is my father? Why is he not around? What's wrong with me? It creates a complex.
This is my thing. Anybody that knows me knows that I hold everybody accountable. I have very high standards for myself and anybody around me. Family,
totally.
My team, whatever.
Totally.
But at the same time, I'm also I understand bad decisions.
Yeah.
I understand that sometimes things happen that you didn't intend to happen, and now it's about fixing them. It's about moving forward. And I also do understand that sometimes a bad decision may not always end up in a bad result. So just because you made a decision to have sex with somebody, it doesn't. Sometimes
a bad decision does not end up in a bad result.
Does not always.
So then what would make it a bad decision? You only know a decision is bad or good by the result that it produces. You only know that an orange tree is an orange tree by the fruit it produces, which is an orange.
People know when they make bad decisions when they going against the will of God. And that sister is absolutely correct. No, bad decisions don't always have consequences. That's why people continue to make bad decisions, because they haven't experienced the fruit thereof right away. So people continue, oh, there's no consequences of this. Oh, I'm going to keep doing it. She's absolutely correct.
So I'll give you a very obvious example. You make a bad decision, you have sex with the wrong guy raw, you have a baby. That baby is not a bad result. That baby is a product of a bad decision, but it's not a bad result.
No, that child is not a bad child. That child is not a mistake. The mistake that was made was at the choice of the mother and the father. We got to hold both accountable. The child, I agree, is not a mistake. That child is just an innocent baby that is a result of a decision. Yes, but her bad decision-making did cause that child to be born in deficit. It still results in a bad result. It doesn't mean that she's stuck in that result. It doesn't mean that a man is stuck in that result. I think we have to get to the picture of, are they stuck? No. Is it a bad decision? Yes. A bad decision doesn't make that person a bad person. So I think what's happening is you got to separate the two. Stop personalizing that if I make a bad decision, I'm a bad person. No, I'm not a bad person.
I don't think people do that.
Totally.
I think my point is coming from a judgmental point. Gotcha. Because I feel like what you're saying is judgmental in some ways. I feel like I wasn't raised in a two-parent household the whole time. My parents were together, they got divorced. I chose to go another route. But I don't feel like it's necessarily always the wrong way to do things. I don't agree with men having 5 baby mamas, but that doesn't mean that just because he's not in the household with his one baby mama, that makes him a bad man, or he's not a good man because he's not with that woman. And I feel like I do believe in co-parenting. I believe people can still raise kids successfully without necessarily being married. My path is not everybody's path. So I come from a standpoint of there are multiple ways to do things, and sometimes you got to play the cards you have to the best of your ability. So I don't agree with like the judgmental aspect of, okay, everybody needs to get married to have kids, because there are single women out here who are having kids by themselves without a man at all. And
if that's by choice, then again, that's their decision. So that's what they wanted. That was an intentional choice. We have my sis Ebony K. Williams, who was on my my talk show True Talks. Shout out to my girl Ebony K. She made a choice to have a child as a single woman by herself. She's a very happy mama bear. That is a choice with an intention. You're talking about two different things. When you said I was not born or not raised in a two-parent household, but I grew up to make a different decision. Well, what probed you to make a different decision is you seen that that was a decision you didn't want. So therefore, if it was something you admired, you would have recreated the wheel, baby. But you didn't, because you said, I don't want this decision. Because somewhere in your mind, you've seen that as not being a good decision. We do good things. You didn't say I want to do the opposite because I just want to be a bad woman. I want to be a rebel. You went and created.
I believe women that want to have children alone without a father helping, I think it's selfish. I think that's selfish of women. I don't care what nobody say. Oh, you know, happy mama bear without a man helping her. That is selfish. That child is eventually going to grow up wondering, who is my father? Why is he not around? What's wrong with me? It creates a complex. And women want to do this just to prove that they can do it without a man. And yeah, you may be able to, but what about the child? What about how the child is experiencing their upbringing without a father? Fathers in the home are a representation of God. They're supposed to be a representation of God. And a whole lot of mothers out here are not good representations of God. Some are, most are not. And according to statistics, children are better off in a single father home than they are in a single mother home. It's just what the numbers say. Is it every case? Absolutely not. There's always outliers. But I believe to decide to have a baby on your own without a father present. I'm not saying getting pregnant and then, deciding to keep the baby. I'm talking about women that are intentionally going out, getting pregnant, like, oh no, I don't want to have anything to do with a father. I raised it by myself. That is a bad decision to me. That's my opinion. So, and I wonder how God would feel about it. We'll have to read some old Bible to really know what thus says the Lord about it. But that's my thoughts.
Created something different that happens to be better, whether you want to admit it or not. The second part that you said that I want to address is you said the judgment part. This is not judgment. This is saying that if what you are choosing to do is causing impairment in your world, or is causing impairment in these beautiful children's world that you are birthing, then it wasn't the best decision. And we need to address that. And there needs to be awareness in that, facilitated with love and guidance. The third thing I want to unpack is you said you don't think that every single person should be married and have kids. I agree. I think people should do what works for them. Yes. People should do what is conducive for them. You have people who have been together 30 years and they don't believe in marriage, but they do believe in family. And they have a beautiful family. They have a more successful dynamic than married people who've been in my office. If that works for them and it's healthy, I say run the damn play. If marriage demises you and it's not healthy, undo that play. Absolutely. Don't go there. I agree with those pieces. And you said one more thing I wanted to address. You said, what did you say? Judgment piece? Might have been it. I don't want to hold us up, but if it comes back, I'll address it.
It's okay.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I'll address it. But you made some really good points. And I love that you are expressing yourself transparently, about these different issues, because there are so many viewers who are watching this, who feel the same way, who you are going to be a voice for. And they need to hear these answers and responses, who would never get the opportunity to sit with me and ask me, maybe be in session with me and ask me, or even be able to DM me, because I can't get to every DM. So thank you for asking the questions that a lot of people probably have. Like, Doc, is this a judgmental perspective? No. But in order for us to heal and shift and move forward, just like when y'all have children, you got to tell your child when they made a bad decision. Because what kind of parent would you be? To say, oh, no. Oh, this is what you said that I love. You said every man's not a bad man because he decided to procreate and then leave the relationship. There is no bad human being who's bad based on just making a decision. I don't believe that people are bad. Their decisions are what need to be corrected. And the root of their decision comes from who? The wholesome, the whole person of who they are. So again, the fig tree isn't bad, but the fig tree wasn't producing. So because it wasn't producing, God cursed it and said, you just won't be blessed.